Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now September 1st of 2023, and given that we have seen and witnessed a handful of box office failures throughout this year, ranging from Indy 5 to Elemental to The Little Mermaid, and Disney's Haunted Mansion really didn't do as well as expected, and let's not forget about another big failure, such as the closure of the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel at Galaxy's Edge, that's going to be closing, by the way, later this month, and will be later bulldozed closer to 2024. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know one major thing about Brie Larson is that she is a specific actress that is not only very hard to work with, but she's also one that stirs up a lot of drama behind the scenes. She is one that is very overly demanding with her pay. And we also know that everything related to her roles in the MCU has been very much an emotional roller coaster, right? We know how much damage that she has done to the MCU as Captain Marvel and how she created a lot of drama with the Avengers cast before in the past. But focusing on the Marvels, we know that this movie, and it's a for sure thing, that it's going to be one of the worst MCU additions of all time, I feel at least. Definitely for this year of 2023, and definitely for the past number of years. We know that director Nia DaCosta has said that this movie is going to be the wackiest and silliest MCU project of all time. And even sillier than Ant-Man, and it's going to go way beyond that. And not in a good way, by the way. This is going to be like B-movie level, ridiculous content that's going to be shown on the big screen. But let's get into the specifics. Now, with Disney actively losing subs from Disney Plus and stocks falling to an all-time low, one major development has to do with actress Brie Larson and how she's dealing with the Marvel's backlash, with the SAG strike still in effect, and Larson not taking the backlash of her Marvel's film very well. One thing that she is preparing are many different statements that she is about to provide to the general public when the SAG strike ends. Larson is preparing to make specific statements to address her ongoing problems and disgust with the backlash for the Marvels. Now, this has been discussed with both her agent and manager, and Disney surprisingly gave Larson the approval to make these said statements that's going to essentially attack critics of herself as an actress and the character of Captain Marvel. Brie even got frustrated with Disney after they drastically cut down some of her scenes that were supposed to be shown in the official trailer that Disney knew would create backlash, so they cut them back on purpose, just to bring in audience members into the theaters. Additionally, Larson also is refusing to take part in filming or recording extra features in the future for the Marvels for special digital releases as requested from Disney because of how disgusted she is with the ongoing fan backlash. Now guys, let me just stop here quick before I get to the next piece of this development, is that this is just living proof of how Brie Larson is the very prime example of an egotistical person when it comes to being an actress and expecting specific and special treatment among the Disney higher-ups. We already knew going in, and she must have known going in, that the Marvels was going to be an ensemble cast. It was not just going to be about her, it was also going to be about Kamala and Monica. And so she had a problem with that. You guys may recall the original plan was to make a Captain Marvel sequel. That fell apart and turned into this movie. And then they also had other plans to make the sequel again. That fell apart again as of late. And so it was an up and down roller coaster for the MCU, not just because of Iger's cost containment plan, but also because of Larson being so overly demanding. She was very much the same with Universal and requesting a higher normal payout for Fast X Part 2 for her return, as well as in Part 3. And that's ultimately what also led to her, getting pretty much the boot from Universal. She's reportedly not going to be involved now in Fast 11 and 12. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the week. But we know that there's a lot of things going on here with Brie Larson and how she's taking the ongoing backlash of the Marvels. She is quite disgusted. And this is not a surprise. This is somebody that gets offended over the smallest things in the world that really mean absolutely nothing. So let's get into the other things here. So, on top of that, Brie reportedly feels so offended over the fan backlash and the response that she is taking it as everyone being misogynists. Larson has even specifically requested director Nia DaCosta to speak on her behalf about her feelings of the Marvel's backlash within the next couple of weeks before the release of the film, unless Disney decides to delay the movie, which is still a serious discussion to save 2023 from more box office failures after Indy 5. Additionally, Larson is also so disgusted with the backlash that she is reportedly unwilling now to return for Avengers: Secret Wars, and that this is her ultimatum for Disney to correct their ways of marketing the Marvels properly, with her being more of the center of attention. Again, this is typical Brie Larson. You guys may not know how she has been in working with Nissan, with Marvel, with Universal, with WB. It's all the same. It's all about making her the center of it all, the center of attention, and this is a prime actress that only sought out to become an actress to be famous. I don't know if you guys knew this, but that was her main drive, was to become famous and to get known. And in reality, when you want to pursue acting, your real pursuit should really be the work, right? The talent. Trying to craft your aim and your talent to becoming the best that you can be, not to become famous. And I think that's the core of her problems and why she comes across as so insufferable. You know, I think that the same exact thing could very well apply to those like Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Rachel Zegler and Amber Heard even. Very similar, ways that they pretty much, pursued their career in the film industry. So here's the other problem at play, is that we know that the Marvels is already cutting back on the marketing for cost concerns. This is all a part of Bob Iger's cost containment plan. This is why you're not going to see really all that many TV spots, all that many ads on TV and on the internet, not quite as much. Because, we all know that everything is taking into effect right now. But given that Larson is putting up this ultimatum as well, in a response to the ongoing fan backlash and directing it back at Disney that she no longer wants to take part in Avengers: Secret Wars, which, by the way, is a very anticipated film. It's not going to be released now until 2027, just to make it clear to you guys. It's a long ways off, and it could very well be an even longer ways off if the strikes continue. We might see that get delayed now even till 2028. Who in the world is even thinking that far ahead is beyond me. But when we look at Brie Larson, this is another prime example, like I said before, of another insufferable actress that gets so offended over the smallest of things. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this entire scenario, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys later.